God established life to be ordered in a certain way, okay? Think about it. Maybe you've had this experience before. You've put on your shirt or your blouse in the morning, you weren't paying attention to exactly what you were doing, and you got your second or your third button in the first hole. Anybody ever had that happen before, okay? You got like your second button's up in the first hole, and like something's wrong with my shirt. It doesn't feel right. And you feel a little weird, like a little offside like this. Okay, you're gonna walk in this way. What's going on? Because I've got the wrong button in the wrong hole, and you reorder your buttons, and everything flows well, right? So how many know the first button's supposed to go in the first hole, right? Okay, that's the way it works. It orders your life well. Well, God says if you got your life ordered well, then no other gods before me, then everything else can flow as it needs to flow. As if you want a great marriage, put me first, okay? If you want God's blessing in your finances, put me first. If you want God's blessing in your business, put me first. Let me be the first place in your life, and let there be no other gods before me, and then life flows well following that one choice. That beginning point sets the course of everything else in your life. If you don't get the first thing right, none of your other buttons will be right, correct? Okay? If the first button's not right, none of the other buttons are going to be right, okay? And so here's the thing I want to remind you of here at Tel Dan and at these altars of Jeroboam. No, we're not bowing down to golden calves. No, we don't do that anymore, but we still commit idolatry. And we commit idolatry by letting other things be before us, before God, I should say. How do you know if you've got something else before God? Well, one way that you know that is your life starts going amiss, okay? You start being out of sync, and life seems like something's not quite working right. You're out of sync with God, and oftentimes when you get out of sync with God, you get out of sync with people, right? And another way to tell if you have an idol in your life is something else is more important to you than God, okay? And you begin to worry about the loss of something else over the loss of your relationship with God. What is the thing that would grieve you most? What is the loss in your life that would grieve you the most? If the loss in your life that would grieve you the most is not your loss of relationship with God, then God's not the top button. The thing that you should want less than anything else and have the appropriate fear of is losing a relationship with God. And my challenge for us here today, I'm going to bring it to a point of a prayer and a ministry point here in just a moment. But I want you to think about your life. All of us here, all of us that will be watching this together, we need the God of miracles, the God of power at work in our life every day, correct? We want God working in us. So I want to make sure that my life is ordered. I've got my first button where it needs to be, that God is in the top spot of my life. I don't want any other person to come before God. I don't want any possession to come before God. I don't want my pride to come before God. I don't want anything in my life to come before God at all, because when I order God in that right measure, He's number one, then everything else can flow well, and the power of God can work effectively in our life.